Hey, what's up, otakumike here. Let's talk about Zatanna issue number 1. Warning, there will be spoilers and a little bit of magic. Our story actually starts out with Zatanna actually talking about how much he actually loves magic. Magic can be wonderful, magic can be horrifying, but something has been lost from magic for quite some time. She starts to talk about how there was somebody who actually monitored the magical world called the Prime Magus, and we haven't had one of those in a millennium, and she is looking to actually change all of that. Zatanna has actually been on the hunt for this plague spirit for quite some time. She actually tracked them down to the elf realm, and she's in this building at the moment. There are bodies strewn about. She ends up finding out that this plague spirit has actually attached itself to this young elf girl at the moment. And actually finds this spirit. A chase ensues. The spirit does not want to let go of the host. And Zatanna is able to actually get into the spirit itself to try to actually separate the plague spirit from the elf girl. Yet that doesn't really work out so well. As her first attempt to exorcise this spirit from the host does not work, she actually ends up getting pushed out, but she comes up with this idea to actually suck the spirit into her hat, and somehow, some way, magically, it separates from the host. And as things are sort of calming down, Zatanna realizes that she's actually not alone, and somebody has been watching her this whole time. Zatanna actually confronts this DEO agent, and she's like, do you care to tell me why the DEO is in this magical realm? And he's like, nope, I don't care. I'm just paid to shoot. I'm not going to answer any questions. And they get interrupted by a man named Demon, who is like the head of this like organization. And he's like, look, things have been happening in the magical world, and we are here to basically take care of the things that go bump in the night. And we would love for you to join us and whatnot, because I've never met a Prime Magus before, and maybe we can work something out. And she's like, I really don't know about that, if that's something that I should be doing. So she kind of just leaves and disregards his offer to work with the DEO. Ted actually says, you know what, Demon actually is kind of right. Somebody actually needs to be out there and monitoring magic, because magic is obviously evolving and changing with the times and the realms, and somebody needs to be there to kind of curate it and guide the chaos into the light and not go into the darkness. So what Zatanna actually decides to do is that she decides to go on a world tour across the realms to actually protect magic. So let's take a look at the internal artwork for this first issue. This is actually the same creative team that actually did the art and story for the 2025 Zatanna miniseries. If you have not read that, go check it out. It's a phenomenal miniseries, and this just builds upon that visually, art-wise. Like, it is a spectacle to behold, and it does some pretty fun things visually and creative, and how they like depict all the magic and stuff, which I actually really like. Like, the story just flows through this and different, like, it's like a visual overload of like magic and stuff, which I really like. And most of it is just a chase scene, to be honest, in the first half of this issue. But I mean, just seeing how Zatanna moves and stuff, and you know, interacts, and the showmanship of everything, like, it just hits it out of the park visually, to be honest. Like, you're not going to be disappointed when you actually sit down and read this. It is definitely a trip. So what exactly did I think of Zatanna issue number 1? Well, this is kind of a fun, confusing read. It definitely just throws you into the thick of things story-wise. You don't necessarily have to have read the previous Zatanna miniseries to know what's going on in this. It just kind of throws you in, and it's like, hey, Zatanna is now the Prime Magus of the DC Universe, which is essentially the equivalent to the Sorceress Supreme of the Marvel Universe. And it gets you into this kind of one and done little adventure with the plague spirit and whatnot, which I did find to be a fun little thing that happened in this book. Was Zatanna actually trying to help out this young elf girl with getting this spirit detached from her body. I thought that was pretty fun and creative how she actually dealt with that. Where things kind of get interesting, I'm actually more interested in, is the fact with Zatanna dealing with the DEO, which is this government organization that actually sort of monitors everything that's going on in the magical worlds. And I'm kind of wondering how that is going to actually work out. But I think that could take this character into some fun, interesting directions creatively, story wise. I really liked how they kind of kept the funness of Zatanna in this first issue. Like, she seemed to be having fun trying to figure things out. There was very much the showmanship and stuff with this, which I really did like. The visuals really blew me away, and I still feel like the creative team actually still had a good handle on the character of Zatanna. Where this didn't really work for me was I feel like they didn't do a good enough job to explain what has been happening to Zatanna and how she actually got the Prime Magus. It just is like, hey, Zatanna is the Prime Magus. This is kind of the history of the Prime Magus. We don't actually know how she got to that point, which I feel creatively it was honestly a little confusing. I hope they actually go and probably another issue and explain that sort of backstory, how Zatanna got to this part and like her history and whatnot. But aside from that, I still actually did enjoy this book. It was fun. The artwork is really well done. And it's going to take Zatanna into some pretty fun places. I want to see where she's going to go and this grand tour across the realms and what kind of threat she's actually going to be fighting in the near future. But I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. I'm otakumike. Peace out, stay safe, go read some comic books.